What's up, y'all? Jason here to give my review for episode 5 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now, this video is pretty late. Actually, it is very late because, some important stuff happened. I explained that in my previous review for The Walking Dead. Some things came up. But this episode, this episode was very good. Very good episode. The pacing was fast. I mean, the pacing has been very fast for the past since the beginning of this anime, but the pace for this episode was pretty much very fast. You can notice how it was very fast paced. I think they covered like 2 or 3 chapters this episode. I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure it's maybe around 3 this episode. But overall, this episode, the gang heads to Win Knight's lot because that's the town where Dio was last spotted, and that town is under danger of being turned to zombies from Dio's, mayhem and his havoc he's brewing in the area. And as they're, in the town, they get their stuff stolen by this thief, this little boy. They manage to subdue him, but it turns out that he was being hypnotized by Dio all along so that he can draw them away to an area full of like corpses in like this graveyard around a time where the sun sets. And Dio just makes a boss appearance. He's up there like a boss, man, on top of a whole bunch of rocks. He's talking smack. He's talking smack to Jojo and to Zeppeli. He's chill. He's calm. He's calm. He goes in there, does his thing. He goes up there, tries to attack Dio, but Dio blocks it. He's able to like retract the sunlight ripple overdrive, and he freezes his arm by sucking away all the heat energy. And because his arm is frozen, he's not able to move his blood through his veins. He's not able to use the ripple. And Jojo comes in there to help Zeppeli out to keep Dio from finishing him off. And then Dio summons these 2 barbaric knights from back in the old English day, around the time of Queen Elizabeth I. These guys were knights under the reign of Mary Stuart, who was a very, important historical figure, if you know your English history that much. So these guys, the zombies brought back to life by Dio, and they're here to fight against Jojo, Zeppeli, and Speedwagon. Well, Speedwagon's not doing anything. Well, he does do something where he puts Zeppeli's frozen arm against his chest, no homo, to help thaw his arm. And while that's happening, Dio escapes because like the classical villain he is, he doesn't need to stay around and make sure his opponents are killed. He just goes off and does his own business because that's Dio. He's a boss and he doesn't need to do that shit. And Tarkus and Bruford are pretty much very strong. Jojo gets put in a predicament where he's underwater. He's unable to breathe. He's unable to create ripples because he's not able to take in the oxygen. So instead of swimming to the surface, he swims downward to where there's a whole bunch of rocks. He swims downward all the way to the bottom, removes the rocks from there because he realized that Win Knight's lot was a mining town. So there's obviously a whole bunch of rocks at the bottom of the lake. I think it's a lake. Yeah, it's pretty much a lake, where there's a whole bunch of air, trapped within the rocks, and he pulls out the rock. An air bubble comes out. He inhales it, and he does a new move underwater called Turkish Blue Overdrive. I believe it's not tortoise or Turkish. I believe it's Turkish Blue Overdrive. He does that underneath the water, and that's where the episode ends. So, like I said, overall, very good episode. Some pretty cool action. Dio's voice actor is still fucking amazing. And I think the voice actor for Tarkus, or was it Bruford? I think it was Tarkus. I think his voice actor sounds very familiar. I know I've heard that voice somewhere before, but pretty much it's a very good episode. I gave it a 9 out of 10. So yeah, this has been JC. Keep on keeping on. comment, rate, subscribe if you feel like it. And I'll catch you guys again next time. Peace.